Well, the feature sprint on Sunday is the Prix Abbaye, and who better to discuss the race than the guys that write the form book, Mark Brown, Dave Orton and David Bellingham. And Mark, it's a race the British traditionally have a very good record in, and with Prohibit in the lineup, got a strong chance of continuing that record.
Absolutely. I mean, the horse was sixth in the race last year when he was held up from off the pace. This year he's shown he's improved, he's won the King's Stand, and the thing I really liked about his latest performance over course and distance when he defied a penalty was the fact that he raced prominently, which often in this race it's an advantage to do. He goes on any ground, he's in fine form, and I'm expecting him to run a huge race, so he's a major player. Yeah.
And David, at 6 years old, he seems to be in the form of his life.
Absolutely, still improving at the age of 6, fantastic. I'd also believe he will reverse the Nunthorpe form with Margot did. He did best of those drawn low. The draw is going to be a major factor also. Horses drawn next to the near side rail will have a huge advantage, so that's very much up in the air at the moment. But granted, a low draw, he's got everything going for him. He's proven at the track, he's won a Group 1, so granted a single figure draw, I think, fantastic.
And we also ought to mention the Nunthorpe winner, Margot did. And Dave, it was a surprise winner that day. Do you think it was a fluke? Do you think she can repeat it?
She was undoubtedly racing on the best part of the ground that day, no doubt about it. And these sprints are messy affairs. And I've got to say that I've got quite a strong opinion on the Abbaye. I think it's definitely the messiest Group 1 I've ever seen, year on year in out. If you're not drawn low, if you can't race near the pace, you've got frankly zero chance. So you've got to hold fire basically until you see it come out on the Friday. That's very, very important. But given her running style and the fact she's an improving 3-year-old, I wouldn't like to discount her if she's drawn near to that Stones Rail.
Okay, well, what about the French horses, Mark? Whiz Kid, would she be the head of them?
Yeah, I think she probably would. Her defeat of Prohibit 2 starts back really announced her as an up-and-coming sprinter. And I think it's best to forget her Nunthorpe run when not getting much of a passage through. She can definitely improve on that form. Connections do well with their sprinters, and again, in a year when the French 3-year-old fillies appear to be a very good bunch, the likes of Gallicova, Golden Lilac, Moonlit Cloud, Immortal Verse, she herself may well go on and win this Group 1.
Okay, and Dave, we've discussed the top 3 in our opinion, but any sort of at bigger prices you can see running well?
Oh, look, it all depends on the draw. This is a race where if you look at the SPs of the winners over the years, think about Kevin Ryan, 2006 was it Desert Lord, was it that one for him? That was a massive price, that was always up there, and it's a shock, but you get it in this race because it's messy. You've got the 3-year-old Gilt Edge Girl as well, Clive Cox's, Luke Morris's first Group 1 winner. How did that happen? It does because she was on the right place. It's a massive advantage to be there. Perhaps there are a few left field ones. This is often a race where decent handicappers can move up.
Any you can see getting involved, David?
I just back up what's been said about Whiz Kid. I think Whiz Kid is a major threat to Prohibit. Unlucky in the Nunthorpe and may well have won with a clear passage. So for me it's Prohibit just ahead of Whiz Kid, and then it's a battle for third. Granted, decent draws.
Okay, one selection for Prohibit, another one?
I think there are quite a few interesting ones. It's traditionally not a race that goes to 3-year-olds, so I'll be concentrating on the older horses for all that I respect the chance of Whiz Kid. I've had a hunch all season for a horse, Jeremy Gask, called MEDICEAN Man, who reminds me a lot of Prohibit last year, and he's an improving hold-up sprinter who wears cheek pieces, goes particularly well at Ascot. Should have won at the Shergar Cup. Hasn't been at his best of late on ground slower than ideal, but with conditions drying up all the time, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go close. And 2 others I think worth a mention are the Kevin Ryan Massamar, who is often aggressively ridden. He's won a couple of good handicaps this year already. Again, he'll bounce off the fast surface. And then the likes of Captain Dunn and Secret Asset, again, graduating from handicaps. Secret Asset certainly is anyway. Really good turn of foot on his day, and I'll be looking to take a chance on a few of those, I think, at decent prices. So.
If I had to nail you to one, who would it be?
If you had to nail me to one, I'd probably side with Massamar, I believe. Marwan Kukash owns him. He's been having lots of big winners recently, and I think, again, providing he gets a decent draw, he'll be racing prominently, and he'll be carrying my cash.
Another that seems to have been revitalised this season. Dave, your selection?
Yeah, MEDICEAN Man is interesting. He might not look like he's got the class, but he went for the same races as Prohibit, I think, as well, didn't he?
Taken a very similar route to this point, yeah.
So again, whatever's drawn low, whatever looks like it can race prominently, got a bit of class about it, that's where my money will be going.
Okay, so that's Massamar, Prohibit, and whatever's drawn low.